This is not some abstract economic theory. The real-world consequences of building a system that treats human health as a profit center are measured in bankruptcy, in suffering, and ultimately, in rage. A rage so deep and so widespread that it occasionally explodes into the open in ways that shock the conscience. Consider the case from December 4, 2024. Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, the largest health insurance company in the United States, was shot 3 times on a New York City sidewalk. He was killed by a bullet to the back. The alleged shooter, a young man named Luigi Mangione, was later apprehended carrying a handwritten manifesto. It read, "These parasites had it coming." But the most chilling detail wasn't that. It was the message etched onto the shell casings, found at the scene. 3 words, each stamped on a separate casing. Delay. Deny. Depose. This is a direct reference to the insurance industry's infamous playbook, literally taken from the title of a 2010 exposé. Also discussed on this channel in a prior video. This was not a random act of violence. It was a calculated symbolic assassination, aimed at the heart of a system millions of Americans despise. But to ignore the why, to ignore the volcanic public reaction that followed, is to miss the critical point. Don't be fooled by Luigi's down-to-earth persona. His background is far from ordinary. He hails from a wealthy family, and boasts an Ivy League education, further complicating the narrative of the common man fighting back against the system. The internet didn't just report on this story, it erupted. The suspect was bizarrely fawned over, especially by women. Hashtags like Free Luigi trended. Memes and videos celebrated the CEO assassin. A highway sign near Seattle was hacked to read, "One less CEO, many more to go." So why did this happen? Why would an act of cold-blooded murder generate anything other than universal revulsion? Look at the data UnitedHealthcare itself generates. It has the highest denial rate in the industry. For their ACA plans, they reject 1 out of every 3 claims that come across their desk. That's 33%. Their denial rates have skyrocketed by over 30% industry-wide in just the last year, a trend UnitedHealthcare leads. They've gone from denying 10 to 15% of claims a decade ago to systematically rejecting 1/3 of them today, often using automated AI systems to do it. While other giants like Aetna and Cigna deny 15 to 20% of claims, and Kaiser denies a mere 6%. UnitedHealthcare stands alone at the top, the king of no. When Mangione's manifesto circulated, citing the industry's obscene profits and America's dismal life, and when those shell casings read "Delay, Deny, Depose," millions didn't see a madman's rant. They saw someone finally verbalizing their own powerlessness and fury. They saw someone finally holding a mirror to their own lived nightmare of fighting against a faceless, profit-driven bureaucracy. The healthcare and insurance cartel has spent decades piling kindling onto a bonfire of public hatred. They have denied claims, inflated prices, and lobbied against reform, until the American people felt utterly helpless, trapped in a system designed to suck them dry. When the trigger was pulled, it wasn't just a bullet leaving the chamber. It was a spark hitting a mountain of dry tinder, built from millions of denied claims, bankruptcies, and appeals. This is the logical, extreme endpoint of a business model that prioritizes shareholder value over human life. You don't just create dissatisfied customers. You cultivate a deep, seething resentment that can curdle into something dark and dangerous. The online celebration wasn't about one man. It was a scream into the void, a distorted, ugly, and tragic reflection of just how badly the trust between the public and the medical-industrial complex has been shattered. They created a system of such profound, data-driven injustice that a violent act against one of its architects could be understood, if not condoned, by a frightening number of people. That should terrify everyone. Not because of lone wolves, but because of the fertile ground of despair and anger that the cartel itself has tilled and sown. With every single claim, they delay, and every single claim they deny. They built the monster, and now they are dealing with the fallout. At least, the souls that were delayed, denied, and deposed can finally rest in peace.